ladies and gentlemen, and being a producer of Wrestle Massacre as well as Inside Movies Galore, I am David Strege, and welcome to Delusions of Grandeur. Enjoy the reviews. I certainly did. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Delusions of Grandeur. I'm your host, David Strege, and here I have another review for you. Sorry it's been some time. I had a grandmother die, and I was dealing with the emotions from that. So I haven't really been doing that many reviews. So I am back, and I am ready for action. So here we have a film that the producers of this film want to call it Arbor Demon, but the director wants to call it Enclosure. And it's a film that was filmed in 2016, and it was distributed through Gravitas Ventures, which, if you don't know anything about that particular distribution company, the distribution picked up Don't Go Fuck in the Woods and some other films that I'm sure we will get back to later on. But so we have a married couple who hasn't been married that long. In the very beginning, seems like the husband is kind of waking up from a drunken stupor. The wife seems like she's exercising, and all of a sudden she throws up, and we realize she's pregnant, and she's not telling him. So they end up going on this camping trip to revive whatever romance got them together in the first place. And they seem to be very active, outgoing, outdoorsy kind of people. Thing is, after seeing this film, there's not very much fleshed out characterization in these characters. So I wish that there was more invested in these characters to make us love or hate them along the way. But there really is not. I mean, we've got Fiona Dorff, who, as we know, has been in the last two Chucky films, and she just so happens to be Brad Dourif's daughter. Which doesn't exactly make her win any beauty pageants or anything like that. She's not exactly pretty, but she's not exactly ugly. She's in the middle. But that being said, the acting, on the other hand, is very good. I don't think that I can say much or complain much about the acting. For I believe whatever they needed to do happened. And I in fact enjoy Jake Busey's character, which we will get to. So apparently, as the couple settles down for the night, and they start to supposedly, head out to sleep, all of a sudden, they hear bikes, they hear guns, and this whole rowdy redneck hunting party comes and disturbs their sleep, and then moments later, all of a sudden you hear the noises of people dying, and you don't really see much of what happens. And I wish that to Almighty God that I wish I could have seen what happened to all of these other hunters, because it looked like there was a lot of these hunters just going out on a shooting, rampage or whatnot. Anyways, as sometime during the night, the husband goes out and finds one survivor, and that's one survivor just so happens to be Jake Busey's character, Sean. Let me just say that the married couple's names are Dana and Charles. So now, for much of the film, I think we can leave Charles as this invisible character. He's not really the focus of the attention. I think it's just like the dialogue between Jake Busey and Fiona Dourif. Now, Jake Busey is this negative, pragmatic, forlorn man who seems to have a negative attitude about surviving, and he misses his wife, but ultimately ends up trying to use Dana in the end for his own gain, and ultimately leads him out into the wide open. But there is a story that I thought that was fairly entertaining about a gula woman, a young woman that was reportedly many years ago on this land from a neighboring tribe, had been kidnapped and placed in a bear's den because evidently there had been a drought at that point in time. And evidently the point of the sacrifice was to make sure that there was as much blood as possible so that it could signify the enactment of rain. Unfortunately, this gula woman that they kidnapped was in fact pregnant. And supposedly some years later, a village woman actually who was pregnant had disappeared. And several disappearances after that made it appear that the spirit of the woman actually still existed in the woods. And that kind of lays the groundwork for the creatures that we so-called see. Now, some people call them tree demons or tree people or whatnot, but I would almost call them like swamp-like creatures. And they seem very protective of, the pregnancy and what's going on there, and it's kind of a curse. I don't know. It's like a discombobulated film, and yet it's interesting at the same time. I like the premise of it. I mean, especially since I absolutely loved the look of these creatures once you saw them. Now, I do wish that you could have seen more action in the very beginning, seeing what happened to the hunters instead of us just hearing about it. I mean, I understand about sounds leading up to people, but I think people more or less enjoy seeing the fucking action. So it's not that I didn't enjoy the film or anything like that. It was very entertaining. I just wish there was more. And more blood, more guts, instead of the suggestion of it. And there was a lot of suggesting of it, and a lot more talking than there was action. But On that note, I I have something to say about the special effects on the creatures. That makeup job was awesome. I mean, the look of these creatures. I don't know what they were going for, but they definitely found it. As for other people, it may not be everyone's cup of tea, but it is at least decent for it's a good time filler. Um, so, in any case, hopefully you enjoyed my description of this film. Like and subscribe to my page if you have not. Um, Definitely check the film out if you can. Um, I'm, I would say that I would probably rewatch this sometime. It may not be right now. It might not be right this instant. It may be a movie that might grow on me. And seeing this movie once doesn't give me the full appreciation that I probably should probably give it. So I will probably watch it again just to see, you know, where my mood goes with this film. Now, is it an exactly great film? No, but it's an interesting plot. Interesting dialogue, but has it been done before? I'm not sure. So, in any case, hopefully you will just go out and watch it for your own self and just enjoy the characters for what they are. Enjoy the story for what it is. If you go into these films not expecting anything, oftentimes you find yourself enjoying them. So just go ahead, let me know down in the comments sections whether you enjoyed it or not, if you've seen it, or just go out and check it for yourself, man. I mean, I was entertained. Whether I liked it or not, I'm still thinking about it. I liked many things in it, but I also had some issues with it. So, in any case, I'll catch y'all later on the next review, and I'm glad to be back.